This is Comic Picks by the Glick.
Hey, I'm your host, Jason
How are you
Glick.
doing, Jason Glick?
I'm doing just fine, John. Yourself?
Not too bad. What do you have on the plate for us tonight?
Okay, well, tonight is something that, is a series that I've been, writing about for a good long while. In fact, if you've been reading this for like an extended period of time, like say about 4 or 5 years, it's like this podcast could very well offer a whole lot of closure for you as I talk about my final thoughts about rereading and the final volume of Gantz. Now, Gantz is special in the sense that it's the last of of Dark Horse's three long running series to reach an end this year. The other two being Blade of the Immortal and Oh My Goddess. Gantz kind of stands for me in the middle, really in the middle of these two quality wise, because while I loved Blade of the Immortal up until the end, I stopped reading Oh My Goddess around volume 34 or so. Gantz managed to stick around in my reading list because, unlike Oh My Goddess, it's like Gantz actually gave me the impression that it actually had kind of a point, or at least he was telling one continuous story from beginning to end. Oh My Goddess did not, and I know I've mentioned this before, but hey, if you want to get me to continue reading your series to the end, always a good idea to at least give me the impression that you've got a point to the entirety of the thing. Anyway, just some of the premise for Gantz. Basically, it's a series about people who have died and have been summoned by a giant black orb to a room and are given directives to kill aliens for points. Now, these points can it's revealed later in the series that these points will allow you to do a couple things, either to release yourself after getting, this is after getting to 100 points. You can release yourself with having no memory of the events, or you can resurrect someone from from Gantz's memory, or you can go through again with having better weapons and all. But this is stuff that was retconned in later on in the series. Things begin with two diametrically opposed people. One is Kei Kurono, who's a typically self-absorbed, horny, and selfish high school kid, and the other is Masaru Kato, who is kind of the opposite. He is nothing but feelings of compassion for himself, his fellow man, and particularly his brother. So these two people, they used to be friends, but they reunite after Kato, goes jumps down onto a subway line to save a homeless man. Recognizes Kei, calls him down to save this person, and Kei, feeling the social obligations of such a thing, helps his friend out, and they wind up getting mowed down by a train, and then resurrected by Gantz. So now their fate is to kill aliens until it's deemed unnecessary until they get 100 points by Gantz. So now it's a solid, workable premise that kill aliens with these weapons that Gantz gives you, and the special muscle suit that it supplies as well. So it's a solid, workable premise that delivers a lot of action, and it's like and it allows for a lot of variation within the setup. But Gantz is it is extremely seinen in its aims. Now if people are familiar with manga, with manga's general categorizations, there are four major groups. There is shoujo, which is young women; shonen, which is young men; josei, which is older women; and seinen, which is older men. It's like, or young. Shonen is young boys. Shoujo is young girls. Josei is young women. Seinen is young men. And goddamn, Gantz is thoroughly targeted to young men from the whole sci-fi action, just the big guns, the focus on gore, the girls with the really really big boobs. It's like it is, like like mangaka Hiroya Oku really ain't like targets this series like at it's like at the young male perspective from like early on. But so it's like it's and I will give him this, like if he had caught me like at when I was say in high school age, I would have thought the world of the series. This series was like the best thing ever, and I couldn't live without it. However, I first came into the series um, back in my college years, I believe, sometime probably around a decade ago. I'd had to think more about it then, but hey, here's the thing, Gantz. I really came into Gantz at a time when I was starting to like grow out of all the stuff, and I was demanding more substance from my seinen manga, like say Berserk or Blade of the Immortal, so to speak. But it's like it's but things about Gantz at work like are the action scenes. I mean, Oku relies on CG like to create his worlds, and while it's like the distraction between the hand drawn characters and the CG environments can be distracting at first, you quickly lose that feeling like as the once the action starts and the aliens start being killed. It's like even though Gantz moves fairly slowly in parts, it's like well in a lot of areas, like Gantz is a very decompressed series, and it's like seeing like the main virtue throughout the course of its run. It's like is seeing like the many action scenes that Oku orchestrates against the aliens, be it it's like be it guardians of it, be it vicious aliens, guardians of a temple, ones that that are strong and have like wings that can glide, ones that that, that are human devils and go hey baby. It's like like works of finest art that just murder the fuck out of people. It's like there's a lot of variety to his action sequences. It's like and they're all, and even at its least and worst and and least uninteresting. God, I hate being repetitive right there. It's like it's still compelling to watch to watch the action play out on the page. So that's the main merit of Gantz because he always comes up with compelling stuff to see, compelling action scenes like from beginning to end, no matter what. But that's not the main virtue of the series. The main virtue is his characterization of Kei Kurono. Kei, like I said, he's presented as like a kind of like a really typical self-absorbed teen, someone who you don't have really a lot of sympathy for at the beginning. But the first 10 volumes or so are basically devoted to more or less to showing you how he grows as a person, how he basically learns to actually care about other people and also be a leader of men as well. Like, and that's key because after volume 10 or so, or it gets to volume 11 or so, it's like he starts being like kind of like the de facto leader for all the people in the who gets summoned by Gantz. And the best part is that it feels completely natural. It's like Oku really does a good job of like of training Kei's change as a natural nuanced progression to the point where like I mean this is the point where you really do like you don't care about him at first, but you do start to care about him like as he displays more human and more sympathetic characteristics because of the events that happen to him. It's the best part of the series for me, and it's a large part of the reason why I kept reading even after the series. It's even after its more uh, uneven parts, so to speak. Um, but yeah, seeing Kurono or Kei really like evolve into a leader and also like really own his history as a fearless kid, which I'll come back to later because it's a key part of the final volume. It's like that's easily the best part of the series. Best part of the series. Um, what doesn't work. Well, first of all, if you're looking for worthwhile female characters here, you may want to kind of look elsewhere because the main one of the main characters from the first 10 volumes or so is Kishimoto, a girl who winds up attempting suicide for reasons unspecified, but is saved by Gantz, but in kind of an error type way in that he clones her before she had before she had died. And she's her main characteristic is that she's got really big boobs and all, and it's kind of like used to she's also used to show just how horny Kay can be and all. And like there's really nothing to her besides the boobs. And there's also the girl who looks like Laura Croft that Kay winds up boning, and it's like at the third Gantz alien killing arc. And hey, all she is that she looks like Laura Croft and Kay bones her. Cool. And then you've got Reika, the uber popular idol who after the she shows up in around like volume 12 or so that that and that she winds up slowly basically getting the hots for Kay to the point where she winds up resurrecting him for her own reasons much later on in the series. And all that she's there for is just kind of like, hey, she's really hot and she's there to us, basically show that, hey, even like really hot girls, they like Kay as well. I honestly kind of prefer to Tai, the it's like the plain looking girl who Kay winds up being forced to date as kind of a penalty game at school, but he eventually starts to develop genuine feelings for. It's not quite clear exactly why they actually have so much in common, but again, I still kind of like the fact that their relationship kind of works out because she seems like she seems like a nice girl, and that just it's interesting that she's kind of like the normal person who gets sucked into this weirdness, particularly in the volume's latter third, where the alien invasion starts in earnest. I'll get back to that later. So, but a lot of the girls here the female characters here are just there to like prop up the guys in one way or another. So if you're looking for strong female protagonists, you're not going to want to look here. So there you go. It's like also now, if you've been reading my reviews of Gantz for a while, you'll notice that I kind of like started like falling off of the series about volume 21, which is the Osaka arc, when the Gantz Tokyo team winds up going out being summoned to Osaka for a particularly brutal alien it's like alien fight, and and it turns out that like the Gantz Osaka team is just made of a bunch of unlikable assholes. And I really did not like this arc, like when it was being serialized, because when you're forced to go through say 5 volumes at say over 10 months period of time, it's like it doesn't it's like, and you just have to savor all this unlikability of the Gantz Osaka team, because they're assholes. They rape the aliens. It's like they're just in this because hey, we're total bros, man. It's like we're doing this all for fun and shit. And then you've also got their big guy who has apparently gone through the Gantz process 7 times, man. And he just shows up and just says, oh. When he fights the final boss, and he's like, "Oh, fuck it, I can't kill this guy. I'm leaving." And then he just killed later. So you're like, "What the fuck was this whole point at all?" Rereading all 37 volumes of Gantz, because one thing about rereading Gantz, it's really fast because there's not a lot of depth to most of the volumes. It's just like I said, the action is center stage and all. But rereading the entirety of the series, I am reminded of one of the central tenets of this kind of process. there are very few, if any, series that will not reread better, like if you were reading them all at once. Especially the with Gantz and the Osaka arc, to the point where like after rereading like that entire thing, more or less all at once, you realize that hey, you're not being asked to like the Osaka people. Like they're just a bunch of assholes who who want to have their asses bailed out more or less by the Tokyo crew, and it's like and then that's all, and that's all right. But it also heralds, but you also get the feeling that the fact that the arc didn't quite work is also what convinced Oku to move on to the final phase. Which hey, more power to him. Like because don't want to have the series run forever. Better to end it on your own terms and just let it run. But there's also just like also in the course of Gantz, there's also some stuff that just like random stuff that just doesn't work like on its own. That you get to that there's like plots that just don't that were meant to like go somewhere but quite didn't really quite like the vampires, the ones that are supposed to be part of the whole demon alien arc, but they're just kind of like there, and even after they murder Kurono as part of one of the arc. It's spoilers, but hey, it's like it all gets better eventually. Trust me. They like two of them like the more ones with debatable personality wind up showing up for the Osaka arc, but it's like they got these aliens who are these vampires who are just like it's like hey, like if you like you've got these medical problems, like you might be a vampire. Oh, it turns out Kay's brother is also one of these as well. It's like it reads like something that was meant to be a big kind of big plot deal, but it didn't really turn out all that well. It's like it just like it's like hey, I'm throwing this at the wall and seeing what sticks, and it doesn't. In fact, there's a lot of stuff. Yes, it feels like he was trying to like see what sticks, and it just didn't quite. So there you go. It's like it, and apparently, like I like to think that the Osaka arc, didn't turn out as he was intended. And it caused him to go on to the final arc, which actually has a bunch of like a big alien menace, coming to Earth to murder everyone, and that was going to be the big, and that led to be the big feeling. In fact, I'll give the man credit for actually like changing things up, raising the stakes, and showing how things are supposed to go for the, and I'm going for something different for this final arc, like, and it works, and to be honest, it works pretty well up to a point. So I mean it's like I mean you got the aliens. Well, it's like it. I mean like when you're to really care about the fate of the world that Oku has created, which most of the people who aren't the Gantz people are just kind of portrayed as being selfish, cynical, it's like or uncaring. It's like it's to care about the fate of their world. Not really doing all that much. Not really working all that well. But it's like at least he offers up some explanations for the whole Gantz process. It's like some and even he throws in some half-assed, hey, like these corporate people, the douchebags as I called them in my reviews, are trying to like serve up the trying are trying to manage things in order to secure power after this whole invasion has happened. The conventional global power structures have ended, but it really is no. That's the problem with Gantz. I mean, like it's all about the action. There really is no world outside the fights against the aliens. That's that's it. I mean, like there are some interesting character developments, but it's all about the like humans versus the aliens. Everything else is kind of secondary to that. And then we come to the final volume, which I mentioned that I wasn't expecting much from it, but it's like you could, on one hand, you could say that it's just one more fight against an alien who is, particularly skilled on his own terms, in the sense that he's like the ace of the aliens that we've been fighting up to this point, and it's like, and apparently he's got some particular beef with Kurono for killing his brother, earlier in this particular arc. Now, having Kay show up to fight this guy, you would think that, oh, just one more fight, but to Oku's credit, he does manage to actually frame this in an interesting manner, to the point where at the beginning of the series, Kato called out Kay for just, hey, I remember you when you were a kid. You were fearless. You were someone who just, did not give a shit whether or not whether you were being where you were taken down by the bullies. You just fought them without regard to to whether or not you would win or lose. And this final battle is kind of an affirmation of that. It's like it's Kay taking on that fearlessness and owning that part of his childhood that made him into at then an invincible warrior, but also at the same time that invincibility, that willingness, that fearlessness, also being something that inspired his fellow combatants to rise up at the very same time. So on that level, it's like I did enjoy the final volume in the sense that it offers a nice circular sense of closure that few series do offer. And then it kind of like wraps things up by having Kay and Kato fall into the ocean, then be rescued by then finally wash up on sea, in the sea in Japan, and be greeted by their respective women. So the end. So on one hand, Oku had some really good ideas that he pursued to the end in Gantz, but he also had a lot of had them sidle up along a lot of bullshit as well. So overall, it's like I don't regret reading all 37 volumes of Gantz. I don't regret rereading them either. But it's I don't know. You have the feeling that he was really just he only had certain plot arcs and character arcs planned out in advance, that he was just making up a lot of shit as he went along, and it shows, and it hurt the series along the way. So I don't know. It's like, is it worth reading? I don't know. To be honest, if you really want to read Gantz, wait until the inevitable announcement that Dark Horse is republishing the series as Omnibuy sometime next year. I say inevitable because Dark Horse is doing this for all of their long-running series, from Blade of the Immortal to Oh My Goddess, to Kurosaki Corpse Delivery Service. They haven't announced that they're doing this for Berserk because Berserk is still ongoing, obviously. But now that Gantz is done, I'd be extremely surprised if they didn't announce that an Omnibuy of the series were being released sometime next year. And to be honest, rereading Gantz in three volume packs, probably gonna read a lot better than reading them at once in one volume every other month. So there you go. Also, I want to mention that Oku does have a new series out being published through Kodansha called Inuyashiki, which is basically about a old Japanese guy, old Japanese father. It's like in his 50s, finds out he's got a dead end job he doesn't like. He's got a family who doesn't appreciate him. Finds out he's dying of bowel cancer, and he's wondering what he's gonna do with his life as he takes his dog out for a walk one night, and then he gets killed by aliens. But fortunately, these aliens realize, oh, we fucked up, so we're gonna go and rebuild them better, stronger, faster. So yes, you've got yeah. I may sound like the $6 million man, but no, it's really Breaking Bad. If Walter White was rebuilt as as an alien super weapon instead of turning to developing meth in order to reaffirm his existence as a person. it's also got kind of like certain superhero overtones in the sense that Inuyashiki decides that he wants to help people using his abilities, even as he realizes that he's losing his humanity in the process. Also, it's kind of at the other end of the spectrum. He's got this other high school kid who was at the same place that he was when he was reconstructed as an alien superweapon. But the thing is, this kid he only views those who are close to him and he knows personally as being worthy of existence. Everyone else, well, they just go fuck themselves. In fact, Volume 2 basically has a kid just wandering into a house, into a random household, and they're just murdering everyone inside before Inuyashiki shows up and to witness what he's done. So it's also worth noting that the kid basically has another friend who's been bullied at school, and this kid is also a huge fan of Gantz. And it's like, and at one point this kid's wondering, "Hey, what are you, one of those Gantz living shitheads?" So it's you kind of wonder if like Inuyashiki is kind of a response to Gantz, where it's like you had all these it's a very seinen series about young men, just like like very much of aliens and wallowing in blood and gore and sex, and that with Inuyashiki, like if he's trying to just say, hey, what if all that stuff was kind of it's like was the wrong tack to take, and that there is like a better way to do this. It's like that if like that if what if the older generation like does have a chance at redemption, it's like and can do things better. It's a more thought provoking series on that level. It's also very decompressed as it's like almost as much as Gantz. But so far, these first two volumes have been pretty interesting. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing where he goes from there. And I'm looking forward to seeing if he's also offers any more stuff that can be recontextualized as a retrospective opinion on Gantz as well. So, Inuyashiki, like very interesting so far. Like definitely a more mature exploration of violence and sci-fi action than Gantz. Gantz certainly has merits, but if you're still in high school or college, it's best appreciated by if you're a dude of that age. There you go. John, if you're still awake on your end, any thoughts?
You're not that boring, dude. So this is the Osaka arc, and is that what you were saying?
The Osaka arc in Gantz starts in volume 21 and kind of runs through volume 25.
I gotcha. All right, cool. But your overall opinion on it is?
Well, like I said, I don't regret reading it or rereading it, but at the same time, like this is like kind of it's very specifically targeted towards young men. So like I said, if you're a dude in high school or in college, then this is kind of like it's meant to be right up your alley. But like I said, beyond that, I really can't make any assurances.
Okay. Do you know what you're going to be talking about next time?
Something more conventional, at least. We're talking about superhero stuff, going with all of Mark Waid and Chris Samnee's Daredevil.
Wait, all right. So is that Daredevil as in the Marvel series, right? Nothing.
Daredevil as in of course Marvel. Yes.
Yeah, I know. Just curious, making sure. Is it? Have you seen the Daredevil television series?
I'm gonna have to turn in my nerd credentials at this point because I have not.
It's all right. I think it's a Netflix exclusive.
I've heard
Yeah.
I've heard it's good, and I haven't seen it.
Really?
But
Okay.
fuck, I still watch Agents of Shield, and I haven't seen Daredevil yet. Fuck, I haven't seen Jessica Jones either. So yeah, I'm a horrible person. I'm sorry, people.
All right.
Expect more of this in 2 weeks' time.
Hey, we'll get to it in 2 weeks' time, and we'll talk to you next time on Comic Picks by the Glick.
Bye.
Bye.